Hello everyone, this is Reza. In this very short video, I answer one of our subscribers' question. The question was, he was following along, but somehow along the way, finger controls stopped working. So I tried to simulate the same problem. I looked at the scene, I found out about the problem, and I thought it would be a good idea to make a video out of this in case if you're running into this problem, it can be detected and fixed very quickly. So I have the same error here in the scene. Now what's the error? The error is the first knuckle works. However, if I go up the chain and select the control for the second knuckle, it only orients itself but not down the chain controls. Now every time you run into a problem like this, because it can happen to eye controls, the same problem can happen to FK controls for the arms and maybe FK controls for the clavicle. Usually the problem lies in the hierarchy and the way that you structure your folders. So if I select one of these controls, frame it into the outliner, you can see that each control is separate. Now that can be a problem because although we have parent constraint on each bone, so the control has been parented to the bone, there is no connection from one bone to another. Now we can do this via a separate or a secondary parent constraint from one bone to another, but that can make the scene rather heavy. That's why we use normal parent connection or the P key on the keyboard. So if I select this control, D01, if I make this part of C01 by pressing the P key and select both controls and go E to rotate, now you can see both bones are moving. It is very important to make sure to select the group node for the child and parent it to the curve for the parent and press the P key. The reason for that is this group node carries all the transformations and the control is the one that animators use and it's been cleaned out. So you never want to leave that group node behind, otherwise the control will shift to its original position, which is not this. So if I go ahead and zero out this one, you can see everything shifts back to where I duplicated this curve in the first place, and that kind of messes up with your hierarchy even more. So you select the group node and control select the curve as parent and press the P key. And now if I select these three, you can see the index is working beautifully. Well, that was an easy fix. Another problem was the scene started to slow down right after this stage when you set up the fingers. Now the reason for that can be, if I go in my outliner, right click on it and disable show DAG objects only and scroll down, you can see I left all of these NURBS circles behind. And these NURBS circles are the history that has been attached to each curve. So you can change its radius or you can change the normals, but we no longer need them. So we can easily, I'm going to go disable joint selection, select these guys, control drag, select control to disable the FK arm. Now shift drag to add to my selection, control select the F or IK arm rather. And if I select all of these two and go to edit, delete by type, non-deformer history, I can get rid of them. It is important to pick non-deformer because you don't want to delete deformation on each curve. Remember, we parent constrained at each bone to these controls and we want to keep this that way. Now you can do the same thing with the eyes in here. You can easily zoom in, select the eyes, or eye controls rather, and do the same thing. You can go delete by type, non-deformer history. Now if I turn off the character, select the eye box, you can see everything is working beautifully and there is no mess in the scene. I can zoom back. Now every time you use a curve from the shelf, these histories gonna get created. So for these two, I'm gonna do the same thing, delete by type, non-deformer history, and they're gone. That's it. Hopefully that's gonna help your scene to speed up a little and to perform faster. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you had this issue and got that fixed for you. Hope you found this tutorial useful and see you in the next one.